say welcome, one and all, to another edition of To The Point. Today being Thursday, the 6th day of October, within the year 2022. Good morning to our viewers. First and foremost, those of you who view via GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channels 11, or Channels 20, I want to certainly welcome you and certainly hope that all is well with you. Those of you who are viewing via the following channels. Let me say good morning to our listeners via K105, whether you're listening in the northern part of the island, the southern part of the island, the west coast, east coast. Good morning. Those of you who are listening online, gbn.gd, and you're listening to a stream for the GBN's website, good morning. Those of you via our social media platform, good morning. Those of you via our Facebook page, get that glass will settle there a little bit. Let me take the time to wish you a lovely day, and don't forget to share the live. It's Thursday, and usually on Thursday here on To The Point, we usually do entertain the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, various divisions within the Royal Grenada Police Force. Haven't seen anyone turned up as yet, and during the program, of course, as the show progresses, if anyone turns up, we certainly will entertain them. So in the meanwhile, it seems like for the start of things, we may just get into that open line segment to say, where we can just accept your phone calls. Whatever issue you would like to discuss this morning. I mean, various issues going around. What a pretty interesting week. I would say a pretty interesting week. And, coming off of the heels of, the Good Morning Show with Gary this morning, heard a healthy discussion. Maybe you still want to chime in some of the issues that they were talking about. You're welcome to do so also. You probably do have an issue yourself that you think should be raised. And you think, hey, I want to express that, and I think for some reason or the other, I could bring that particular issue up and get a positive response in terms of maybe from the authorities. They probably slip on it a wee bit. And if you would like certainly to do so, I will entertain your phone calls. In the interim, folks, I would like to mention, please, of course, I'm being told that I let you folks get away with stuff. It's not that I want to tell you get off the phone or stuff like that, but please keep your comments short as possible, all right? Just be to the point, and let's get it over with so we can entertain as much callers as possible. Let's take our very first caller this morning. Caller, good morning and welcome. Good morning to you, caller. Good morning to you, caller. Seem to have lost that caller there. 435-2041, that's the number that you could be part of To The Point for today here on K105 and GBN TV. Let's go back to the phone line and entertain this caller. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Telesford, and how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, very well indeed. How about you this morning?
I'm very well, thanks.
That's good.
Mr. Telesford, I saw the news about this guy who lost his legs on the GBN last night. Mm-hmm. And I understand that I didn't hear the whole thing because I just walked into the house and I saw a piece of the news. And in my understanding, submit to any correction here, he was employed by the University School of Medicine as a mason worker. Now, I am suggesting and I am appealing, I'm asking to the University School of Medicine, seeing this guy was an employee of them, so I'm asking if they will please consider to give him some assistance. The dressing, they have people there who can do the dressing for him, and they can support him in what...
Caller, but I think I'm subject to correction, but I think I did hear in the interview during the newscast that he did mention that he did receive some assistance from them in the interim, maybe not happening on a consistent level, but he did receive some assistance from them.
Oh, well, that's what I said. I didn't hear the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, this is what I really wanted to say. I was thinking, and I look at the Governor General. And the representative of the Queen and now is a king. And we are shouldering the responsibility of housing and everything. So I'm wondering if the Governor General would consider to make some form of contribution to one school. Mm-hmm. Like, in other words, how I should say, what is the word there? Adapting one school, or there's another word there. One school and help, for instance, if it's breakfast for the kids on mornings, or helping with the lunch, or whatever it is, that if the Governor General could adopt one school, and maybe other, like the university could take one school, other business place could partner up and take one school. Because when you look at everything and everybody goes to the government, and there are people in society, the lawyers, these people, they can come together and take one school. So that's my contribution.
Thank you so much, caller. Have yourself a great day. Hey, folks, now that's what we may have to divert from the live call-in segment this morning. I did mention to you that we will have a representative from the Royal Grenada Police Force with us this morning. We usually do entertain them on a Thursday, and they are here this morning. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we get them all settled in and certainly get along with To The Point for today. We're coming right back. Don't touch it out. It's K105, GBN TV. It's To The Point for today, Thursday.
It's the big one. Grenada. Imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one little ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money back symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch. In stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
Megafest 2022 Gospel Explosion is finally here. Join the youth of the Grenada Conference of Seventh-day Adventists under the green and white tent at Progress Park in St. Andrews from Sunday, October 9th to the 29th at 7 p.m. and continuing nightly for an electrifying evangelistic experience like no other. Come hear the ever exhilarating Pastor Oliver Scott shatter the kingdom of darkness with thundering messages from the Word of God. If you ever needed the Lord before, we sure do need Him now. Come find hope in the midst of your pain. See you there.
The most anticipated event to end 2022 is here. The 12th edition of the Wagiti Super Knockout Football Championship starts on Saturday, 15th October at the Victoria Park, Grenville. It's 2 big opening games. From 7 p.m. Game 1, 5 Stars St. Andrew versus St. David's United. 9 p.m. Game 2, Moncton Sports Club versus Sunsetter Sports Club. Then after the games, we head stateside for the young and upcoming trending Jamaican artists. 450. 450. Alongside Vanessa Bling.
One man, give me good loving, yeah.
The Octane Band and top local artists. Redneck, Mr. Wacky, and Brighter Star. Admission only $40. For all this action, the 12th edition of the Wagiti Super Knockout is on. Don't miss a game.
Don't miss the new season of Interesting Grenadians on GBN TV and social media platforms from Wednesday, October 12th at 8 p.m. and every Wednesday until November 9th, featuring the Anya Chow Chung story, the Richard Duncan story, and lots more. It's Interesting Grenadians, celebrating our interesting and outstanding Grenadians at home and abroad. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on GBN, beginning October 12th. You won't want to miss it.
Mingle and Jingle coming soon to all GBN platforms.
say welcome back to all loyal listeners and viewers this morning to GBN TV, channel 711 and the channels 20. I, of course, did make that introduction a bit earlier, and also those of you via, of course, GBN's, of course, K105 FM, and wherever you were listening from, good morning. In studio this morning, as I mentioned in the introduction this morning, we do have, of course, representatives from the Royal Grenada Police Force, the Special Victims Unit, and, of course, as you can see, for those of you viewing via GBN TV, two lovely ladies in the studio with me this morning. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then we get into the conversation. Who want to go first? Who want to go first? Who want to go first?
Good morning.
All right.
My name is Kizian Francis, Woman Detective Constable 292 Francis. I've been a member of the Royal Grenada Police Force for about 6 years, and a member attached to the Special Victims Unit for approximately 3 years.
All right. Thank you so much.
Good morning to you, members of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Matnik, even to you, the diaspora. Blessed morning to you. I am Samika Farre, Detective Constable 483. Member of the Royal Grenada Police Force for the past 12 years, 9 years attached to the Criminal Investigations Department, including the SVU, because we're a subunit of the CID.
All right. A couple of weeks ago, I did have two other representatives, per se, from the Special Victims Unit here with me, and we did discuss a whole lot pertaining to the particular unit, so we may not want to go into all the details of it this morning. But this morning, you both of you are here pertaining to some events, particularly that are coming up for within is it specifically for the month of October, per se?
Well, 2 walks, basically.
2 walks.
Yeah,
give us some details pertaining to what's coming up, and then we'll proceed.
Okay, so I'll enlighten you, the public, on the walks. Ms. Francis will speak about the written aspect. So the 2 walks. In 2018, we had our first walk, and it's against child sexual abuse. The theme for the month of October's walks, The Child is Innocent, Stop Child Sexual Abuse. That's a theme. The first walk will be on the 14th of October 2022, 9 a.m. We're starting off with an opening ceremony at the Grenville car park, followed by a walk through the town, because Grenville has a small town, so we're going around the town, and we're gonna end at the said car park with light refreshments. There will be a short ceremony, and the keynote speaker on that day will be Mr. Pearson Stroud. He's one of the Ministry of Education representative. He's the juvenile administrator. Yes. All right, so he has a big portfolio there. And also we have other speakers from the Child Protection Authority giving brief remarks, as well as someone from the Royal Grenada Police Force giving brief remarks. And we have small entertainment by members of the RGPF band. All right. The second walk is carded for the 28th of October 2022, and same starts at 9 a.m. at the Tantine Netball Court. We start off with an opening ceremony again before the walk, and we also have our keynote speaker at that event will be Honorable Ron Redhead, Minister of Youth, Sport and Culture. He will be giving his speech there. Also, we have short speeches by different divisional officers within the RGPF and other entities.
I would like to ask, I'm assuming because it's the October Child's Month.
It's Child's Month.
And I'm guessing those walk, of course, an observance of the month. What are the reasons for putting on those walks?
Okay, so it's basically to educate persons, to sensitize, to bring awareness, to crack down on the violence among our children. So to prevent violence, basically child sexual abuse, to educate persons as to the do's and don'ts. So educate parents, per se, with regards to appropriate and inappropriate touching. Also, we're focusing on the elderly as well, because it's elderly month as well. Yes, so it's child as well as the elderly. So we have different support groups and stakeholders on board working together. So it's coming together for one common goal: to bridge the gap and to suppress the dirty man, meaning that the scourge that we have of child sexual abuse in our tri-island state of Grenada.
Right. Interesting. And you said that first walk will start on the 14th,
yes,
and it takes place within the parish of St. Andrew.
Yes, St.
Grenville
Andrew,
Town to be
big
precise.
parish.
Grenville
Yes.
Town to be precise. Give us some more, of course, on this walk. You said that it's going to be starting at the
yes, the Grenville car park. So we start off with a ceremony there. So a ceremony with an opening prayer by Pastor Niles, Pastor Samuel Niles.
Okay.
He will be blessing the ceremony and blessing the children, because yes, it's a scourge. Yes, they are innocent. They cannot give consent. And yes, as we said, we're encouraging other stakeholders who are not partnering with us at this time to come on board, because it's a partnership. The police force alone cannot do it alone. So on that day, we also have the churches on board. All right, so come out in your numbers. We're going to wear our orange t-shirts. This signifies Child's Month, because most times you see them with the orange t-shirts going around. Child care, yes. Child abuse, no way. I remember as a child, I used to anticipate the moment when we would get that, and we have a little treat after, be it oil long or so in school. But now the police, we're championing the cause that we come out, because I believe also they have a team this year under the Child's Month that also highlights sexual abuse. So we're working in tandem with them. So yes, we're inviting all the schools.
You know, that I'm happy that you brought the theme aspect out, because Love the Child has always been the general theme that they've been using every year. Now, for the special victim, is there any specific theme that you'll be using for your part of this year? Or are you going along with the same theme of the
Well, this year, the team that I mentioned earlier is our team. The child is innocent. Stop child sexual abuse.
Great.
So I didn't have a clue that their team would also encapsulate child sexual abuse. So we're working. I believe we're thinking alike. Great minds think alike.
Certainly.
Yes.
All right. And the second match, which comes up on the 20th, this one takes place within the parish of St. George's.
Yes, St. George's.
And it starts from, of course, the Tantine netball court.
Yes, the Tantine netball court, onto the Carnage, onto Queen's Park. Yes, the route might be a bit long, but we do not have a free space within the tongue of St. George to end the match. So as a result, we have to go on to Queen's Park, where they would warm down, and we would have some nice positive music by one of our popular DJ here. I believe he works here, Summer.
No, Summer's not. Summer is at another radio station.
Okay,
but
another radio station. But I know that he's one of our popular DJs.
All right.
And he has been working with us since the inception of our walk, so we applaud him for that as well.
Let me ask you, what is the special victim unit hoping to achieve by these walks per se?
Well, basically, we can stop educating persons. So one is education, and yes, with heightened activities of this nature, we know that we will be bombarded with reports, because some persons do not know the proper procedures or mediums, how to reach out to us, how to come forward to make a report. So come out, speak out, report. Do not suppress it, do not hide it, do not keep it. Yes, we want to reduce sexual violence. So education is key. What we intend to achieve is that persons will be more knowledgeable as to their rights as victims, and to come forward, because there's an entity here to support you.
All right. Child sexual abuse is something that is become very prevalent in Grenada today. You understand? There were years ago it may have been happening, but sometimes with that low-key nature of it all, folks always have the tendency to kind of keep those things down. They want everybody to know that children are being abused. But these days, you see, it's more outspoken. Folks have the opportunity now to say things. Even though they may not, there's still lots happening that we don't even know about. Sometimes depending on the nature of it. Sometimes you want to protect that individual who gets themselves into those problems, pertaining to the child. So in terms of the prevalence of it in Grenada, per se, how does the special victim unit, feel about this particular issue in Grenada pertaining to child violence?
Well, we're not happy about it, but it's our job, and hence the reason why the unit was established in 2018. And this last month we would have celebrated our 4-year anniversary. All right, that we had we celebrated at a church at Birch Grove in St. Andrew. And yes, even though it's a scourge, we cannot stop. The unit was implemented to curb the issue of sexual, domestic, and child abuse. All right, so yes, we're not happy about it, but we have to deal with it. When I say we're not happy about it, no one is happy about this scourge. It's not only affecting Grenada, but it's affecting the whole diaspora. But because maybe our statistics is minimal when it comes to homicides and so forth and other offenses, then you have this scourge just showing its dirty head, right? Its ugly head here here in Grenada because we're the paradise of the world. Actually, everyone wants to come here.
So true.
Yes, Trinidad have sexual violence when you go to trainings, and so you hear about it all the time. But they have homicides and stuff that covers it. And as a result, yes, we have minimal reports of other offenses, and this is one that stands out. So as a result, yes, our statistics might be high because it's one per capital.
Yeah.
Yes. So as a result, yes, it will show high, but at the end of the day, we are working assiduously to bring perpetrators to justice.
With all the publicity that folks who commit these atrocities against the young children, per se, youngsters, why is it still happening at such a level? When all it's everybody hearing about it, and it's even there's not a deterrence in terms of hearing about it all the time. Why? I mean, I know it's probably a question that may go off the direction a little bit, but why?
I believe persons are coming forward and report now because of education and sensitization campaigns. The more you have these activities, the more persons come forward. I say that because before, persons were not educated as much as now. We are modernized from since 2003 to now. I would have heard persons from different stakeholders, and so like Ms. Jacqueline Sillybuck and other entities, and even the GRPF on the ground. They're working, they're doing walks and marches against domestic violence, marches against child sexual abuse. And since that time, you would have seen a rise in reports, right? Before then, we had minimal reports. So today, I would say because of some of the educational campaigns we're having, the walks, the panel discussions, education, I tell you, is key. Yes, we want to reduce it, and in order for us to reduce it, we need to educate persons, and we cannot stop. Education is the key going forward in anything.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we discuss more. It's To The Point for today, Thursday. We're coming right back after the break. Don't touch your dial.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Paying is faster and easier with Flow FastPay. Use your MasterCard or Visa and pay from anywhere. Log on to discoverflow.co/fastpay and press Consumer. Select your country and enter your account number. Enter the amount to be paid and an email address. Enter your credit card information. You'll receive a payment confirmation with the transaction details, along with a receipt to your email address. It's fast, safe, and easy. Flow, keeping you connected.
Don't miss the new season of Interesting Grenadians on GBN TV and social media platforms from Wednesday, October 12th at 8 p.m. and every Wednesday until November 9th, featuring the Anya Chow Chong story, the Richard Duncan story, and lots more. It's Interesting Grenadians, celebrating our interesting and outstanding Grenadians at home and abroad. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on GBN, beginning October 12th. You won't want to miss it.
Say welcome back to our listeners and viewers this morning. Welcome back to The Point for today, Thursday. And of course, we have representatives from the Royal Grenada Police Force, the Special Victims Unit. And this morning's conversations, of course, goes to, in reference to, some of the activities that the Special Victims Unit is partaking in pertaining to Chance Month. And we do have, of course, we spoke to, I keep missing out on your names, you only say, so I hope you don't mind I say officers this morning. I didn't take a list of your names. But there's another component to the activities that you all have planned for within the month of October. The other officer will be speaking about this one. It's pertaining to a writing or competition per se. Give us some details pertaining to that.
Okay, so the unit is...
A bit soft-spoken, officer.
Okay, sorry. The unit is in the process of having a writing competition. It's mainly to target the nation youths, meaning students from the primary and secondary schools of the Tri-Island states of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit-Martinique. We see it as a means of bringing awareness and heightening sensitization regarding sexual violence among our nation youths, against them. The purpose mainly is to nurture their minds as it relates to sexual abuse. We also see it as a means of them learning more about it, how it affects them, and in turn getting them to be more open about it. If they're experiencing it, that they'll speak up and make a complaint. So we see it as reducing child sexual violence against them.
All right. Now, how do, of course, youngsters partake in this particular competition? Now, who is it? Is it open to only schools or young people in general?
Well, we're focusing on the schools, the students. So basically, we're gonna have a poetry. They have two options. Either they do a poetry or a composition. For the poetry regarding the primary school students, we're requesting a poem of 2 stanzas. So they write a poem with 2 stanzas. For the secondary school, if you want to write the poetry, you're going to do 4 or 5 stanzas. For the composition, the primary school students are required to write between 150 to 200 words. The secondary school level, 250 to 350 words.
All right. What are the basic topics again that they're supposed to focus on in writing these compositions?
We have one topic in mind. Speak up, speak out. The end is just a voice away.
All right. Speak up, speak out. The end is just a voice away. Lovely topic there.
Yes, it is. So we have 2 categories. So we giving prizes to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in all 3 categories.
All right.
All 2 categories, sorry.
All right, interesting there. So certainly hope this particular composition part of it, when does that kick off, per se? When does it starting of it?
Well, we're hoping that everything will climax in early December. So it's open
to start now? It starts now?
Well, we're hoping this month that we'll send out the invitations to the schools and get them on board. And everything will climax in early December, where we're hoping that the winners will maybe read out their stuff, and we're hoping to present it on radio, television, and give them their prizes.
They have 2 months to play around with this, get the necessary information pertaining to the topic, and write about this in the best way that they possibly can.
Yes.
All right. It's interesting. It's to the point for today, first 86, and we do have a representative from the Royal Grenada Police Force, the Special Victim Unit, and we talking this morning. We heard about the walks that will be happening. One will be on the 14th, the second on the 28th, and we just spoken again pertaining to that writing competition that you want the youngsters to partake in. And you say it's more open to the schools, primary and secondary schools, and it starts now. So certainly, and pretty soon, as you say, you'll be probably sending out that invitation to the various schools, inviting the youngsters. And I should have asked you this per se: is there a particular form that you wanted started at from the secondary, or is it open to all the forms, or just say forms 1 to 3, or is it for the entire population of the school?
Well, it's open to everyone.
It doesn't matter that
it doesn't matter.
Even at the primary level, or even at the primary level also?
Well, if you have the ability to write, but as for the secondary schools, it's open to all forms.
From all forms.
Yeah.
All right.
But maybe for the primary school, maybe grade 5, 6. Yeah.
All right. Let's see those who will be taking those examinations coming up. That will certainly help them in the composition.
Yeah, it will help them in their writing skills, and they encourage a lot of reading, because you have to understand the topic to really write about it.
All right.
Yes.
Because we know, it's Child's Month, and we also adhere to, is the month of the elderly also, and I guess lots of emphasis will be put into, topics and competition that will help youngsters, of course, to be more focused on this particular month, issues that they go through, and encourage them to partake in competitions of that nature. And you did mention pertaining to the winnings. What are some of the winnings? If you had liberty to
well, we're trying to make it interesting, so it will be very attractive prizes. Yes.
All right, great. Hey, folks, we also want to entertain a couple of your phone calls this morning. You probably want to ask the officers, but something pertaining to the activities that we speak about. Let me try to keep it on topic this morning. Those of you via social media platforms, you could also post your questions that you would like to ask the officers this morning. And the number, if you'd like to call in, probably there's something pertaining to the march that they have mentioned, and the competition, in terms of the writing competition they have mentioned, and you want to chime in on that, you have the option of calling 435-2041, 435-2041. We drew for a second break this morning. Let's take it, and when we come back, the phone lines are open and we get more into the discussion. We're coming right back.
Stock up. COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Welcome back once again to our listeners and viewers this morning to the point here on GBN TV and K105 Radio. Once again, I mentioned earlier that you listeners and viewers all day, you do have a comment that you would like to, of course, make, or a question you would like to ask the officers this morning. You're certainly welcome to do so. Now, before we move on and accept the calls and read some of the comments that folks are making this morning pertaining to the walk per se. Now, we know from time to time we do see these schools have particular t-shirts that they use, color fashion. And no, tell me, would the Special Victim Unit be engaging in that?
Yes, we will be. So persons out there, if you're interested in purchasing an orange t-shirt for the event, we have some sexual abuse t-shirts that the unit would have printed and so forth. You can call us on 400 or 440-4739 to purchase one of the t-shirts. On calling, you will receive the price.
All right. In terms of participation also, is it open to the general public who wants to participate?
Certainly it is. So the general public, we're inviting you also to come on board. It's not only for the child months. So October is not only celebrated as child activity, but also the elderly. So we also welcome persons who are retired, members of church bodies, members of different organizations or NGOs that we didn't announce here or call here this morning, like Ministry of Social Development. Yes, we're in partnership with them because we're a subunit of CID, and CID falls under RGPF. So RGPF and Social Development. We work with these two entities to ensure that persons get the justice that they deserve. We work also with the Legal Aid and Counseling Clinic, GNO, Probation Unit, and the list goes on. So if you didn't hear your name called here today, that doesn't mean that we forgot you. It means that you're also partnering with us, but we would like to see you on the day. So you can come out with an orange t-shirt and we can work together for that common good. We're working together to reduce child sexual abuse.
All right,
so come on
great.
board with us.
All right. I mean, so that's a good call in terms of encouraging folks to come out, participate, because it's a way of helping the youngsters to, of course, be able to speak out, especially when issues of that nature happens to them. And if they see if that particular individual is there participating in walks and so forth, they will say, hey, if something happens or someone touch me inappropriately or whatever, I would be at ease.
Yes.
Because they see my mom, my dad, or someone in authorities around that they could, of course, be part of, and part of the walk. They would
support.
Like to the support group.
Yes.
To say. All right, great. Pertaining to the competition in terms of the writing competition, and you mentioned a lot about the various schools that is open to, What would the Special Victims Unit say like to see, in terms of the participation in the writing? What would they like to see in terms of the individuals who partake, the youngsters per se? What emphasis would you like to see them put into that?
Well, we're hoping that they'll put in a lot of work, meaning researching sexual violence, finding out what it entails, how it affects them. So it's mainly to educate them and sensitize them that sexual violence is real and it's so common among our young people. So with them writing on the issue or the topic, speak up, speak out, the end is just a voice away. Empowering them, basically, and telling them that sexual violence is a no-no. And as we say, children are very influential among themselves. So if they're empowered with the new information or writing and they gather information, maybe they could spread it across to their peers in the school, the teachers, and other students will be on board.
So in terms of information gathering on the topic, I mean, how you would like to encourage them to go on out and gather those information?
Well, the internet has a lot of information, but we at the unit also have information. So if anybody interested in the competition and they want information, they're welcome. They could also ask that we come to the school and do lectures on the topic.
All right.
So not so to empower one person, but other students maybe to get empowered.
I mean, and that will certainly aid in terms of the information that you want to disseminate. You understand? They will get that information over there. That will certainly help them in doing that composition to get it right.
It surely will.
All right. Interesting. 435-2041, that's the number. Folks, you can call in if you want to ask the officers any questions this morning pertaining to what we've been talking about in terms of the march, the competition, even questions pertaining to Child's Month. And, things that you may like to see done in Child's Month that probably have never happened. And you say, hey, I think, if this is incorporated from time to time, could probably make the activities that surround Child's Month even better. We certainly welcome your phone calls for that to see. It's K105. It's to the point for today, and we're talking to the officers this morning. And I certainly like the idea of the walk and the competition, because maybe I don't think I've ever heard it done before. Have they ever been done before?
Yes, the walks we started.
I know the walks per se pertaining with the schools, but I've never really heard it done within the Royal Grenada Police Force and Victim Youth. It has been done before, right?
Yes, since 2018. We started since.
Probably I never paid attention.
I believe Janelle and Brenda used to be here.
Probably back then.
They were
probably
the
back
ones,
then. All right.
It started in 2018.
All right. Let's give it a 5. Well, we certainly folks seem to be understanding a whole lot pertaining to what we're speaking about. So probably there's no particular question they like to throw out. So we're going to take another break and come back and probably get some final words in before we take care of for this morning.
Nice.
All right. Let's take that break, folks. We're coming right back. It's K105 GBN TV. It's to the point for today, first day.
and Jingle coming soon to all GBN platforms.
101 reasons to shop at Quartz.
Unbeatable prices and the best value. Quality brands that you trust. At Quartz you can shop with no cash. Credit is amazing. Pay in 90 days. Quartz makes it easy. 101 reasons to shop at Quartz. We have so much in store and online we've got 101 reasons to shop at Quartz.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Welcome back to our listeners and viewers this morning. To the point for today, Thursday, the 6th of October. We're talking to, of course, representative from the Royal Grenada Police Force, the Special Victims Unit. And before we move on, I think there's a caller. There was a question I would like to ask, but before we get into the question part of it, let's see what this caller has to say. Caller, good morning. How are you? I would like to ask, but
Good morning. I'm very well. I would just like for the officers to reiterate again the date of the marches and speak again to you said that the competition is open both to primary and secondary schools. So in terms of the allocation of prizes, is there going to be a prize for in this case of the primary schools, both for the poetry and the one set of prizes for poetry and one for the essay for the primary schools, and then for the secondary schools both for the poetry and the essay, or is it your one set of prizes, whether you primary or secondary, 3 prizes for the poetry or 3 prizes for the essay? Speak to that, please. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, certainly understand where the caller is coming from there, but we did mention pertaining to the price structure, but I don't know if you want to repeat it again, just so that the caller didn't miss out in terms of, you didn't want to be specific on how the price is going to be, but you did speak about it in the show.
Yes. So you have 2 options. Either you write a poetry or a composition, so it's open. If you're comfortable writing a poetry as opposed to a composition, it's your preference. But the prizes will be for first, second, and third in the 2 categories.
All right. Pertaining to the match, per se, the match or the walk that's coming up, you understand, the caller did want to allude to the dates. We did give that in the previous segment of it, but you can also repeat it for the benefit of the caller.
Good morning, caller, and thanks for reaching out to us via this platform. So the first walk is carded for the 14th of October 2022, 9 a.m. It will commence at the Grenville car park with a short ceremony followed with a walk from that said car park around the town, and we end at the car park where light refreshments will be served to the participants. The second walk is scheduled for the 28th, Friday, 28th October 2022, 9 a.m. We would like for everyone to congregate at the Tantine Netball Court. We start off there with a short ceremony. On completion of the ceremony, we start off the match from that point onto the Carnage, onto Queen's Park.
All right. Officer, I want to ask you this particular question before we entertain another call this morning. Now, in terms of the composition coming up, and I think maybe we just spoke about what they should have written or write about in the competition. You did say, how it should be written. What are some of these specific topics you would like them to write about? Just in case there's a youngster out there who's listening, or probably there's a teacher, or probably there's a school out there that probably is listening to this program right now and probably interested in having that school participate. What are some of the variety of the topics that you would like to expand about?
So we're hoping that this writing competition will be an annual event. So the first one we having is basically on sexual violence.
I understand. So you're saying because it's going to be annual, if they're going to start off this year per se, it's going to be on sexual violence.
Yes. So we're hoping that maybe other topics will be introduced, like cyberbullying.
So specifically for this year, it's going to be on sexual offenses.
Yes.
All right. That's understandable. So if there's a youngster out there who's listening want to participate, so this year's competition is basically focused a whole lot on sexual offenses. All right. Great. Let's take another call. Let's see what this caller has to say. Caller, good morning and welcome. Good morning, caller. Yes, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We're doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thanks, I'm calling in relations to, I wasn't really listening to the program, but I was told I have 2 police officers on the program this morning.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I was driving this morning and I noticed they have this bumper sticker on the police vehicle, right? And I don't know if somebody could make it make sense for me. The bumper sticker read, or it reads, do not get drunk and drive, pick up and drop off from bus stop, avoid over speeding. Now, can somebody make that make sense?
Caller, I don't think the officer here for that particular reason this morning. We are mostly basically talking about the the Charles Mont activities that are coming up, and in reference to the marches and the competition and so forth that they have going on. So maybe when we do have a representative from the traffic department, they will be able to answer your question. All right?
Thank you, Glenn.
No problem. All right. 435-2041. 435-2041. That's a number if you do have a question that you'd like to ask the officers pertaining to the Special Victims Unit and its reference to Chalmont activities that we of course talking about this morning, the competitions. Maybe you have an idea, maybe that they may have not mentioned, and the officers could take it into consideration and maybe implement it in the next year to come. You never know. You just never know. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. How are you? Good morning, caller. Hello, good morning. I guess that caller doesn't want to participate. But as I understand where the caller is coming from, but it's not the topic of discussion this morning, so we will not be able to entertain. All right. So we just have a few more minutes left on the program this morning. Any final bits and pieces you want to throw out in terms of offering encouragement, especially for the schools and so forth to participate? The march coming up. We do have another caller. Let's take this caller. Calls are coming in a little bit slower than usual this morning, but let's take a caller before we entertain your final bits and comments this morning. Good morning to you, caller. How are you?
Good morning. I'm sitting here and seeing the 2 officers talking against this child month. But, I have a serious problem with it. For the longest time, you have been this thing with child month. And ever since you've seen children being abused. So, I want to know if it's only when the month comes, you see people coming on the radio and just sit there and saying something, and after the time done, you see they gone off. I would like who in charge of it to take most of them, pass through all them village, at least get somebody to pass to look. For instance, if you see a child delinquent, question her. Don't wait when bad thing happen to come in and say, because that is happening continuing, and we have a lot of things happening. And when the month come, we seeing that, and after, look, yesterday I've been calling all the numbers and the phone book, and you ain't getting somebody to answer you, So I wonder, what is going on? Nobody answering, some saying, okay, nobody to answer the phone, blah, 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 blah. That is ridiculous, because we know there are places that could do better. So I would like, not only we see them, and when that day done, pass through the village, we have 6 parishes and 5 towns. And I would like to see this thing utilized. At least, if you see a child, ask them, because I know I miss going to be my same thing. I know as a young girl, Mothers been put in jail for delinquent from the children, you know.
All right, caller, take a couple of seconds and wrap up. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. And this couple was going a little bit off topic there, but nevertheless, there's one question I'm seeing on our Facebook page this morning. Certainly hope we could get that question in. And this of course, viewer, listener of here on via the Facebook is saying that they're asking if the march can take place in every parish, but you did allude that it's only going to be taking place within the parish of St. Andrew and St. George's this time around. Is there any plans in the future to take it? Maybe all parishes could be having the march at the same time. Is there any plans for that?
Okay, so because of the pandemic, we couldn't schedule to host the walk throughout the Tri-Island state. Carriacou will be next. Then we have to do one in Guave, Sautez, and St. David. I believe I missed out somewhere. St. Mark's?
St. Mark's.
Okay, St. Mark. So, yes, we started off late this year, so we apologize for that, but it's in the making. So you can look out for us in 2023.
All right. And of course, once there's no other pandemic coming through again.
Once we doesn't have any other pandemic, this COVID or any other issue going forward, the RGPF, we will be working with you. So if it's not a walk, we'll have sessions like pop-up sessions in various communities throughout the Tri-Island states with our children and members of the community, because the unit, besides the walks, we've been hosting numerous other activities, outreach programs, because I heard a caller complaining about Child Month, but the unit consists of 7 persons.
Okay.
A corporal at present with 6 constables, detectives. And yes, besides investigation, we're also out on the ground in terms of outreach, community outreach programs, educating persons as to the roles and functions of the unit. Also, we work along with the Child Protection Authority. So from time to time, you will see us in various communities, visiting homes like the Father Mulligan home, the Bel Air home, organizing, giving out hampers and so forth. The RGPF does a lot of work, but we cannot do it alone. So it's just bridging the gap. So if you're a community member and you feel free to come on board with us, then we can cover the issue. Because the police alone, yes, we also do community policing, and these are a lot of community projects that we take on from time to time. It helps us to bridge a gap between the police and the community daily. We solve crime that way. And without you, the community, we cannot solve the crimes effectively.
And of course, programs like this do also aid in terms of getting the information out.
And also, we bombard the schools. So it's not only like, okay, we're coming here on October to discuss the abuse of children, but we're doing it daily. We visit schools daily, not only to speak about sexual abuse. We visit the PTAs, we highlight, we educate them as to cyberbullying and domestic violence and harm offenses. So bullying, you can have numerous harm offenses, such as causing harm, wounding, you may have a homicide. And these are things we're trying to curb on. So yes, we're educating students within the schools, we're educating the teachers, we're also working along. So yes, we may not be educating the teaching staff, but you have other hierarchies of the RGPF that are meeting with principals and other entities to educate them as to the roles and functions of the RGPF and how we can curb these issues. So it's a lot of work, and we're doing it.
All right, interesting. We're getting to the wrap-up stage, just around 3 minutes or so left on the program this morning. And any final comments you want to make this morning pertaining to in reference to the
competition?
The competition.
Well, I'd like the students to come on board, research your topic. We want to have much entries as possible. Make us read a lot. Read your composition.
Hope to get hundreds.
Yes. And make it the best poetry or the best composition you ever written, so that the competition could be stiff. When you watch and you say, well, this one, let us have options. Let us see your abilities. We know a lot of all you have a lot of writing skills, so we want to see it.
All right.
And the prices will be
attractive.
I think
that's a better way of saying it.
And be competitive among your school members, your class. So we want to keep it interesting, alive, so that next year will be much better.
All right. All right. That's what it goes around with the success of this year will of course lead to what the following years will come up to be like. Right? Officers, I want to thank you a whole lot for being with us this morning. It was a pleasure having you here. Speaking about the walks and of course the competition that is coming up, and certainly hope the audience will have listened a whole lot to what you have to say. The youngsters, maybe there was a parent who would like to encourage their son or daughters to partake, especially in the competition, in terms of encouraging them to write and about their feelings pertaining to the sexual violence and so forth. And as you said, it would just lead to other topics as time goes on. And for the walk, I know you're encouraging all to come out and be part of it. And you don't forget, you come out, purchase the t-shirts. They can purchase the t-shirts, right? T-shirts are on sale. And you can call. Give that number again.
So you can kindly call us on 400. That's our hotline. So it's not only for the t-shirts, but if you have a report to make, you can call us on that line. It's open. It's not chargeable. You can call our office number on 440-4739, and you can request your t-shirts, and you can pick it up at that said office. We're situated on H.A. Blaze Street.
All right. Certainly hope we could have another conversation again before the competition, or when it's about to, or when it's wrapped up. You could probably take the initiative to come in here and give us the results if it's possible. Probably that could be interesting when the walks do take place. If it's filtering within the timeline, we could come and offer some more encouragement to folks to come out and be part of it.
Thank you. Deeply appreciate it.
Right. Thank you once again to our listeners and viewers this morning. To the point, that's where we take a wrap for today. It's a pleasure, of course, doing this for you. Join us again for another edition. That will be tomorrow. Until then, have a good one, folks. This is where we say goodbye for today. To the point.